and welcome to this tutorial on how to add an article to a Joomla website. So what we first need to do is sign in to the back end of the site. Now this is done normally by going to the main URL of your site, which is up here, and then typing after the / administrator, which has already come up on this because I've done it before. Now this will bring you this form here. What I'm going to do is cut so that you can't see the login details, but just use your login username and passwords to get past this screen. So once you're logged in, you'll have a screen which looks like this. It may have more icons here, or possibly less, but probably not. It depends on what administration access rights you have. But this amount of items here will cover pretty much everything we want in this tutorial. We're going to be following a workflow which is categorize, add, and then show. So firstly, we need to categorize our article. So we click on Category Manager here, which can also be got to here by going on to Content and then Category Manager. We'll get a list of categories which I've already made, and it's important to categorize your article because a lot of the systems in Joomla use categories to categorize and display items. So for example, if you had a page about holidays, you might have a category called transport, which would cover articles about airplanes and boats and those kind of things. So what we're going to do is I'm going to show you how to do and make a new category. So if I press new here, you get a blank form. You put your title in here. So for example, transport, if I can spell. There we go. Now alias, I will explain now. It's normally you can leave it alone, and normally it opens that in a new tab, which it hasn't done. But anyway, if you go to contact us, for example, you see you've got / contact us. Now if you change the alias to banana, for example, it would be / banana. You don't want to do this, however. You want a descriptive title of whatever the article is. So contact us is pretty self-explanatory, and the reason you need this is for search engines, and search engines will find the page better if it's got a descriptive title in the URL, and it will come up high in the page results. Also very important, no spaces in the alias box. If you want more than one word, you need to put a dash between them like that, and all lowercase as well. So we'll go back to the administration panel, and we will do that by going back here and right, so we'll go back to where we were. Okay, so most of the time you can leave that as it was because it will automatically default to the same as the title. The only time you might need to change it is if you've got a category or another article with the same alias, and then it won't work, so you have to change it. Parent means if I, for example, put the parent as about us, transport would now be a subcategory of about us. So if this site's about nature, for example, so you could have a nature overall category and then subcategories for wildlife and plants, etc. Although it's probably not really necessary to have an overall category as nature, really. So we'll change that to no parent because we don't want that. Leave these as they are. We won't worry about those at the moment. And this box here lets you type description for the category if you want to, but this is totally optional. You don't have to do this. And it uses the same kind of tools as Microsoft Word or any other text editing program. So once you've done that, what you want to do is save the category. Now you can do this in one of three ways. If you press save, like this one, it will save it and keep it on this screen. So you'll have to close it separately. If you press save and close, it'll save the category, and then it'll go back to that overall list of categories we were looking at earlier. If you press save and new, it will save this, and it will give you a new blank form, so you can make another category if you want to make a lot of them quickly. That's the best way of doing it, but I'm going to cancel because I don't want to keep it. And we go back to here, because we've already got categories here that we can use in this case. Now, we go back to the main menu by going Site and then Control Panel. And what we're going to do next is, actually I'll show you the Media Manager quickly. This is basically the same as a category manager, except you're using folders for images here, or videos it could be, or anything really. To create a new folder, you type it in there and press create, and that's basically it. You can upload files here, but you need to go into the folder in order to upload it. So for example, if you wanted to put a picture in Photo Gallery and then under Wildlife, now you're in the folder, it will go into that folder if you upload and choose a file from there. But we're not going to do that now. That might be covered in another tutorial if there's demand for it. So we'll go back to the main bit. And what we're going to do now is go to the Article Manager. It's pretty much the same as the Category Manager, with the exception of this featured column, which I'll go into in a second. So you've got your overview of all your articles which exist at the moment, and you've got these ticks, status. And what these ticks do is that it means it's published. Now what does published mean? It means, for example, if we go to the home page, which happens to be environment, that is a published article. Now, if I go to here, this is environment here. If I untick this, it unpublishes it. So if I refresh this page now by pressing F5, come on. Doesn't seem to work. Right, well, press the refresh button anyway. And it's disappeared. So it's unpublished. So if you wanted to take a site off for editing or something, it will keep it in a database. It won't be deleted, but you can make changes to it or whatever you want to do, and then you can put it back on, and that's as simple as ticking that box again. And you can do multiple ones at the same time. If you tick those three, for example, and press unpublish, they all become unpublished. And if you want to publish them all at the same time again, you just tick them all and press publish. Very simple. Now featured means that it will appear on the main page. So if we press home, you can see the environment is the featured page at the moment. Now if I put cooking as featured as well, then they'll both come up one above the other. And again, we need to refresh the page. And you can see cooking comes above environment here. And if you've got more than two articles featured, then they'll stack on top of each other. Generally, only really a good idea to have one article featured because it just makes it simpler, really. So I'll just put it back the way it was. Same thing, just tick it on and off. If you don't feature anything, it won't have anything on the main page. On the home page, sorry. Okay, so we want to make a new article. Now, to do that, we press new, and you get a blank form, much like the category one. Give it a title. So what I'm going to do is have it go into this forest one. Now you can see there's one that I did earlier, which is there already. But what we'll do is we'll do another one. So that's one called trees. Now if I do one called flowers, for example, so that gives it a title. Don't worry about the alias. And categorize. Now this is where your categories come in that you made earlier. What you want is to choose the forest category, because what happens is that with this menu, all of these are set up to go so that all articles within a category are shown. So for example, forest will show all articles that are in the forest category, environment will show all articles in environment, etc., etc. I think it's limited to 5 per page, but you can check, I can't remember what I set it up as. And any more apart from that, I think you get a view next page, and you can look at more than one article. So they stack on top of each other. So we'll choose that as our category. Publish, that's what I just explained. If you unpublished it, it won't appear. You could publish it later if you wanted to. Public access. Now, this is a bit beyond this tutorial, but basically, on this site, you've got a login up here. Oops. Here. Now, you can have certain pages appear only when certain people are logged in. So you can have it appear to only people who are logged in rather than everybody, and etc. And I think special lets you have only admin people can see it or something like that, but I'm not entirely sure. Right, so this is the adding stage of CAS as well. I should probably point out, categorize we did earlier. This is adding. Right, this is the box where your article goes in. Title here. Anything in that title box, obviously it's the article title, will go in this green box if it's the top article, otherwise it will be a heading like that, where it says forest. Any headings here will go into the main text anyway. So I've got an article here which I was emailed. Now, because I'm doing this on a Mac and I've been doing it on a PC, I'm not entirely sure how text edit takes it, but I know for certain if I copy this, I'll just see what happens and paste it in. If I go to the HTML, that's fine. What although it has done, it's done a few, it's taken some styles from text edit here. You can see it's put margins and it's changed the font, which is not ideal. What you do, if you're on a PC, which I expect most people will do, if you're using Microsoft Word, what you need to do is copy from Microsoft Word, open up Notepad, Notepad, and then paste into Notepad from Word, and then copy from Notepad into here, and that will get rid of any extra formatting characters which will be taken from Word. It's a long-winded way of doing it, but unless you know HTML and you want to take it out manually, which is a bit of a pain, then I would recommend doing it that way. I will take them out on here manually. In fact, that's a blank paragraph there, so it doesn't need to be there. And get rid of that one. Okay. So you see the font changed there, which should go back to the default page font. So, just to quickly summarize that again, if you're using Windows, open up Microsoft Word, copy your article from Word into Notepad, then copy from Notepad into this box here. And once you've done that, it will get rid of all the formatting that it shouldn't put. You can also put in images if you click here, and they will come from, this is the media manager we were looking at earlier, so if you had your categorized folders and everything like that, you could go in there and pick your image, and you need to put in an image description and image title. That's quite important. You don't have to do a caption. I think it uses the image description. If you choose yes, it will put the image description underneath it, and you've got your alignment for the picture there. I don't think you need to put an URL, but again, if people want a tutorial of how to do that, then I'll do it later. That's some other date. On this side, you've got other options which I wouldn't worry about. This user doesn't have access to this resource, but you could choose who wrote the article. So, for example, here you see it's got written by Niall Williams. That will be the default. So whatever your login name is, whatever your login details are, sorry, it will say that's who wrote it. So you don't have to worry about that, but you can override it if you've got higher administration access. Anyway, again, save keeps it open and saves it. Save and close takes you back to the previous screen and saves it. And save and new will give you a new blank form for another new article, and it will save this one. So I'm going to save and close this. and yeah, I don't think this is the same as that one. No. Anyway, save and close. Right, so that's now done. Now if I refresh this page here, there we go. So our new article is now on top, and the other one's pushed down one. So that's how you add an article. Now quickly, if you want to edit an article, it's as simple as forest, which is the one we just did. Oh no, it isn't. But anyway, if you click on it, it'll bring you back to this page, and you can make your own changes, and then just save as before. And there we go. So hopefully that's covered basically how you do everything. One more thing actually, to delete an article, you tick it, and then you press trash. In fact, I'll delete the one I just put in there, or all of the ones that I've done today, because I don't want them. Trees was the first one, and flowers, wasn't it? So if I tick those and press trash, they're now gone. Now you can't get them back, so be very careful when you do that. Make sure you've got a local backup offline. And that's about it really. If you've got any questions, just put them under the video and I'll try and answer them. And if you want any other tutorials, then again let me know and I will sort that out. So thanks for watching, and hopefully that's been helpful.